Let's briefly review creating a PowerPoint presentation. Some of the things we're going to look at are what effective presentations are, what a window is, and how to enter slide text. We'll also review how to make a new slide, how to apply a theme, and how to print a PowerPoint presentation. So we know that presentation software is used to organize and present information. Some of the people that use PowerPoint most often are those teachers, trainers, educators, and salesmen who recognize the value of adding graphics to a message so that the graphics support the message and add to it while the presentation is going on. Here is an example of a PowerPoint handout and a PowerPoint notes page. So on the handout, you have the slide showing, and then you have a place for the audience to take notes. In a notes page, you see the slide, and to the bottom, you see where the notes go here that have been entered for the presenter to present. One of the things that PowerPoint does is it lets you enter and edit text. It also lets you change the appearance of information and to organize and arrange information. This is helpful when you're collaborating with peers, working in a group, and you're trying to present information to either colleagues or to people who are learning the material. Of course, when you plan an effective presentation, planning is always the first step. It helps you determine and outline your message and further refine your message as you develop the outline. It helps you identify the purpose of the presentation, and it also lets you evaluate the connecting pieces between slides. And really, this is crucial. You want to know what goes before and what comes after each slide and the connecting thought between them. This will help you tell a story. Telling a story in a PowerPoint presentation brings the whole message together contextually. It helps the audience make sense of what you're trying to explain. Here's an example of an effective storyboard for telling a story. This particular story is about Canadian railway tours and some of the different things that you will find if you were to take a Canadian tour. Normally, PowerPoint will open up in default as normal view, and that's the one that we're used to seeing. It's the primary viewing for writing, editing, and designing your presentation. Now there are other views besides normal view. But let's take a look at normal view. Here's a picture of it. Here is your slide thumbnail to the left. Of course, we're familiar with the tabs across the top and the groups that go with each tab. We recognize the ribbon from the other applications that we've been working with to include Word, Excel, and Access. To the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that here are shortcuts for the different views in PowerPoint as previously mentioned. The ribbon we know helps us organize the commands. A set of primary commands is on a tab. Further commands on a tab are grouped by groups, and you can quickly navigate through a slide using the thumbnails pane. The thumbnails pane is here to the left and lets you see visually all the slides in your presentation deck or your PowerPoint deck. The slide pane lets you see where you're at currently in the presentation, and we've seen that as we worked on our homework this week because the presentation, the current slide, was highlighted with the active link around it, the active window around it. We have a quick access toolbar just like in Word, and the quick access toolbar provides immediate access to the common commands such as save and undo. We're familiar with this from Word, where we had the same mini toolbar. It helps us and makes our work easier because it means that we don't have to constantly be going back to the Home tab every time we want to bold, italicize, or underline. We're also familiar with the status bar, We know that the status bar shows messages about what we're doing and seeing in PowerPoint. It's located at the bottom of the page, and we can monitor it to help us as we track our work in PowerPoint. When you open a title slide, there are two text placeholders. There's the large one that we have already worked with. It's called the title placeholder. And underneath the title placeholder is the subtitle placeholder. The placeholder with text is called an object. And we know that an object is any item on a slide that can be modified or moved or managed or changed as a whole. When you click inside a placeholder, what you get is that blinking icon or insertion point. That tells you that you are able to enter text. Not only can you change the size of the text itself, but you can change the size of the selection box. You can do that either with the sizing handles or by clicking on the box and changing the size. Up in the top right corner, you'll see the height and width to change the size of that text box. Further, you can align text box using either align middle or align right, so that your boxes line up on the page and make it just a little easier to view for the audience, since the eye can be trained to go to the same place in every PowerPoint slide only after a few slides. Here is the normal view again, and this time we're in the drawing tools. You'll notice the drawing tools tab is open here at the top, and we have the format tab showing. But that's not what we're in, right? We can see if we look to the left that we actually have the home tab open. And in the home tab, what we're doing is really just sort of beginning, because we don't have a theme. We have one empty blank slide. Here's the sizing handles we mentioned, the title and subtitle boxes, and we know that these placeholders are called objects. The slide layout contains text and object placeholders, and we know that one theme can have many different slide layouts. We can modify an existing slide layout or make a new one, and each slide layout has things that you can use, or you can just have the layout on part and then change the layout for another part. Depends on how you want to apply the theme in your presentation. You could add new slides, which we did already. We added a new slide to our presentation. We can keep track of the total number of slides by looking to the left. We know where we're at because we have the current text slide showing on the left. And we have, again, themes, a set of 12 coordinated colors for fill, line, and shadow called theme colors. We have fonts for titles and text called theme fonts, and effects for lines and fills called theme effects. We know that themes is on the design tab, and what we can do is we can look through each theme using live preview to show us how each slide will change based on the theme that we choose. Right now we have faucet themed showing, so we have the green. Now if we would like to, we can choose faucet theme, and then we could come over here to variant, and we can say, I don't really want the lime green, I think I'd rather have the black, so I'm going to choose a black background, and this is going to be a variant. It's going to have the same family of fonts, it's just going to potentially use a different palette. There are 6 primary views in PowerPoint. So again, I'd like us to recall that we originally started talking about normal view. In addition to normal view, which we've covered, PowerPoint also has outline view, slide sorter view, notes view, slideshow view, and reading view. And each of these views does something different, of course. The outline view lets you focus on the presentation's text. You can enter text in outline view, just like you can in normal view. In slide sorter view, you can look at all the slides on the page and rearrange them and add effects as you need to. By putting all the slides on one page, it lets you play through the presentation in your mind and see how long this transition will last, how long this transition will last, and how they might look together. In addition to normal and outline and slide sorter view, you also have notes page view, which means this is the speaker's notes that they've typed to themselves to help them remember what they're saying during the presentation. There's the slideshow view, which is what we're looking at here with the slides, and there's reading view, which is viewing the presentation on the computer screen without the ribbon showing. We're looking at outline view right here with the outline. And again, here are the different view shortcuts to how this will look. There's icons for each view, the normal view, slide sorter, slideshow, and reading view. When you print a presentation, you can print it in a variety of ways. You can look to see how it will print before you print. By using the print window, you can choose to print a slide, handouts, notes, or the outline view. You can have one slide per page. You can have up to 9 slides per page. You can print in color, in grayscale, or in black and white. When you're printing, you want to open up these choices on your print page that you retrieved from the Home tab, from the tab next to the left of Home, the highlighted tab. And in the tab, you're going to pull out what you need to do to print this up. So in summary, you're going you did define a presentation. You looked at what an effective presentation was. We worked with the PowerPoint window. We entered slide text, and we added a new slide. We know what a theme is now, and we've compared different presentation views. You'll recall that PowerPoint opens up in normal view, and in outline view you can see all the text on all the slides. Lastly, we looked at the print window just very briefly and looked at either printing a handout or a notes page to prepare for a PowerPoint presentation.